Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me. Isn't this beautiful? It's going to get much more beautiful in a bit. Lie in Supta Baddha Konasana with me and bring your hands onto your chest and stomach, or if you want, onto your chest and rib cage, just to feel the breath, but also to feel your heartbeat. And I want you to just notice the breath. Just notice what the breath is doing. I know that's always hard because we come in and meddle, but when we actually manage to notice the breath and not change it in any way, it's always very gentle, it seems quite light. And then you can start guiding your breaths if you want to, breathing in for the count of 3 and out for the count of 5 or 6. And just as a little warning, there was a lot of wind out here, and my tripod wasn't really up to the task. So there's a couple of times where it just fell, and I needed to restart. So if this seems a bit choppy, this is why. But I hope you'll still enjoy. And then just breathe normally and observe the breath rather than guiding it. So no ratio, no nothing, just listening in on the breath as if it was a whisper in the other room. And then we slowly stretch the arms up over the head, maybe a little arch, dropping the knees a bit further. And then raise your knees and drop them to the left side, nice and gently. Turn your head to the right, if it isn't already there. And the knees to the right side, head to the left. Back to center, and we bring the right knee on top of the left for a slightly deeper twist, dropping the knees to the left side, turning the head to the right. And then slowly over to the other side, left knee on top of the right, drop your knees to the right side, turn your head to the left. And of course the arms can do something else. I quite like them next to my head. More common maybe is that T-shaped position of the arms. Back to center and bring your right ankle on top of the left knee, hug your left leg in towards you. Unless that's too deep, then the foot can just stay on the ground. But after a twist like that, it feels quite nice to have that alignment of the spine. And then we slowly change sides, bringing the left ankle on top of the right knee, deciding if we want to pull that right leg closer in towards us. But also you can push the left knee further away from you and flex your left foot. So anything that you feel you want to do to deepen this. And then one last variation of Markat Asana, dropping the knees from side to side with the feet quite far apart. You can hold that as well if you want, or just a little bit of mobility here, which is never a bad thing when we're starting a yoga class. Cool. From here, raise your arms and legs to move into your fingers and toes, into your wrists and into your ankles. And we'll reach for the feet to come into Happy Baby. And we straighten the legs again and push the knees back down. So Happy Baby into that Halasana variation. And of course, you don't have to straighten the legs all the way. So it can be a little bit of a bend in the legs, or a deep bend, whatever works, but just a little bit of movement here. And then we settle in Anand Balasana, bringing the hands to the soles of the feet, unless that's too deep, of course. Knees out, give them a little bit of an extra push. Here it looks, maybe it is that way, I obviously can't see myself, but it looks a bit like the feet are further out than the knees. If you want to deepen, one way to do that is to push the knees further out and the feet further in. And then we straighten the left leg, look to the right, press that right knee down. And change sides. So you want to keep that weight on the whole of the back, not move to one side. And release, hug the knees in. And we'll rock up to seated. And sit comfortably, nice and tall. Arms go up, we breathe in and exhale. Press the elbows down, W shape. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, elbows come down. Just a few more. And then next time you bring the elbows down, keep them in line with your shoulders and start shoulder rolls from the elbows, hands and shoulders. So all moving in unison. Arms away from you, one palm opens, the other palm faces downwards, and then we change sides. Feel that in your shoulders as well, rather than just the wrists. And right hand down, left arm reaches to the right side. We open the palm to the sky or ceiling and look up. Hand comes down, drop your head round your back, up again, and then from here over to the other side. So right arm over to the left, we open the palm towards the ceiling again. And then hand comes down, round your back, drop the head. All the way up and back to seated. Inhale, raise your arms, and exhale, float the arms down. Inhale, head goes up as the arms go up, and exhale, head goes down as the arms go down. And then from here, arms down, hands stay on the ground, and we gently move into the neck. Could be half circles like this, or could be full circles, if that's comfortable. But just see if that works for you. And if they need to be a bit smaller, that's fine as well. We see both directions. And then round your back, pull your left wrist to the right side. Head stays dropped. Pull your right wrist to the left side and let the torso follow a little bit. And then from here, hands onto the knees, roll up through the spine, roll into the shoulders a few times. Keep your neck relaxed, and then shrug your shoulders. And from here, come onto all fours. And then once we've got that perfect alignment of the hands and shoulders, the knees and the hips, we arch and round. And it doesn't matter how deep we go here, so we just want to make sure that that's comfortable. And we want to make sure that we are breathing in and arching, breathing out and rounding. Asana, or the cat. Now we'll take it into tiger, raising the right leg and bringing the knee to the dropped head. Inhaling, arching, exhaling, rounding, just as before. And that's Asana, one variation of it. And then from here, we're going to not change completely, but leg to the back straight, and then the knee to the right shoulder. So keep it nice and high. You want to feel that in the hip. This is no longer about the lumbar spine here. Send it to the back, maybe a little bit further up, and then as high as you can towards the shoulder. And then stay, straighten the right leg, and keep the knee high as you straighten and bend. Now make sure that your shoulders are comfortable with this, that your head is comfortable, that the arms are still long. And release. And before we do the other side, just give your head a little shake, make sure the shoulders are okay, and then we start. Inhaling, raising the left leg, bringing the foot towards the head, and exhaling, bringing the knee towards the dropped head. And then next time, take that leg to the back, and the knee comes to the shoulder. Again, long arms, strong shoulders. You want to feel space for your neck, so don't crunch up anywhere. Next straightens to the back and goes up, and then over to the, hopefully you can't see that on this side, but we're doing exactly what we did on the other side. Knee stays high. I promise I'm doing it. And we send that leg away from us, bend it, straighten it, but the knee stays where it is. Brilliant. That worked well, didn't it? Relax the head, and then feet together, knees further apart for this one. Raising the right arm, moving into the wrist, and then pressing the elbow down towards the back and up. So straightening that arm, pushing the elbow down. And reach high, spreading the fingers wide, and from here, right arm goes all the way over to the left side, onto the ground, and the left arm decides where it wants to go. And take care to keep breathing comfortably, and from here, slowly come back, making sure we keep the feet together and the knees further apart. Raise your left arm, move into the wrist. And then spread fingers wide, drop your elbow down towards the back and straighten. And over to the right side, left arm comfortable. Once your head is comfortable on the ground, that right arm might go up to the back or wherever else you might like it. And keep breathing. Right hand back, left hand back, and then round your back, shake it off, move into the hips if you want. And from here, tuck your toes under, push your hips up into Parvadasana. Always that time to warm up the backs of the legs if you need. And from here, roll forwards into a plank, bending the legs a little bit, push the hips back up into that lovely mountain, and a few more like that. Now hold your plank, taking care to keep the shoulder blades far apart, making sure the wrists are comfortable with that, and back up into Parvadasana or mountain pose. And then from here, slowly raise the heels a bit more, open up to the right side. You want to drop your hips, keep the legs bent, and then push the hips up, legs stay a little bit bent. You might send that arm over to the front, and then push back down, bring the elbow down. So just an option. You can focus on just the legs and hips here. You could straighten the legs all the way. So whatever works. Basically adapt as much as you want. Hold that side plank and then slowly come back into your mountain. And from here, obviously, we'll open up to the left side. So heels over to the right, raise the left arm, reach over, and then bend your legs, drop your hips, reach over. And again, if you want to, that left elbow pushes down every time the hips go down and reaches over to the front every time you straighten up. But a variation of this is fine. Hold your side plank, looking up to the ceiling if you want. And then from here into a plank, Dandasana. We drop our knees, our chest and chin. Hold here for a moment. And then drop your hips, gently raise the chest, tuck your toes under, push the hips up back into your mountain. roll forwards into a plank again, and then from here, drop your knees, chest and chin. And we'll hold this one for a little bit longer. You might focus more on squeezing the shoulder blades, might walk the feet, the knees the feet too, the knees further forwards to raise the hips. You could also interlock your hands here and raise the arms, but no pressure. Hands down, drop your hips, this time raise the chest as well as the legs, and then maybe interlock the hands here. So lots of different options, you don't have to go for all of them. So just pick and choose whatever works here for you. Make sure you keep breathing properly here. Arches have that thing, or especially this Salavasana. Sometimes we just change the way we're breathing, or we stop breathing. Up into your mountain again. And from here, raise your right leg, point the toes towards the sky. And then we stay and hold here. So try to really deepen this posture. Let that leg get longer. Try and imagine both legs getting longer. You're grounded here with both hands and with that left foot. Now flex your foot and drop the heel towards the buttocks. But still that length everywhere and that space in the body. And we stay and hold here to just deepen that feeling in the body. It doesn't mean that the posture needs to deepen, that you need to deepen it. We're just staying to feel this get more intense. And then from here, step your right foot to the front, left heel to the ground. And inhale as you come up into Warrior One. So arms nice and high. We could now interlock the hands and push the palms towards the back. So away from us, up and then to the back. Maybe squeezing the shoulder blades. It's okay to do something that's a little bit different here if you want. Obviously, it's always okay. You want to gently bring that left hip forwards, right hip back, and then from here, arms to the back. Raise your left leg, coming into Warrior Three. Missing out that second warrior. We'll get to it, don't worry. And then bend your right leg, step the left foot to the back, arms high in Asana. So making sure that is your high lunge with that back heel off the ground. And hands to the ground, straighten your right leg, drop the head. Left heel still off the ground. And keep feeling your breath, just as you did when you were lying down. Now right arm goes up. We might look up, but depends on how deep we are twisting. Here, bend your right leg, otherwise exactly the same, still that twist. Now in that lunge position. Release the right hand, and from here, drop your left knee, relax the foot, raise the arms, and sink down. I've got my eyes closed here. Not that you need to, but that option is always there, no matter what posture you're in. If you're comfortable, then why not give that a little try? Work with that sense of proprioception without actually using that visual sense that is so much part of it, but it doesn't have to be. Hands down, tuck your left toes under, and we step back into Asana. And from here, raise your left leg again, staying nice and long, point the toes towards the ceiling, sky, wherever you are. I guess sky always goes, that's always above us. And make sure that your shoulders are quite actively pushing you to the back, creating that straight line from your wrists to your hips, and then flexing the foot, dropping the heel, but exactly the same as otherwise. That weight in the hands and the shoulders is evenly distributed. We're pressing to the back and lifting ourselves to lengthen the arms. Get that feeling of lengthening the arms. Then step your left foot to the front, right heel to the ground as we come up into Virabhadrasana. And again, the option is to interlock the hands, push the palms away from you and send them a little bit further to the back. And we want to try and push the right hip forwards and the left hip back. Release and make your way into Warrior 3, balancing on that left leg. And neck in line with the rest of the spine. And then slowly bending the left leg, right foot steps to the back, heel off the ground, Asha Sanchalanasana. Moving horse, the galloping horse. Or maybe it's a trot, but it's movement. Hands to the ground, we straighten the left leg. Let the torso just relax here. And come further and further down, just by letting yourself get heavier. Sort of melting your torso towards that left leg. And from here, right hand on the ground, left arm goes up. And of course, depending on how you feel in that front leg, you might have to bend the leg a little bit. That's fine. And here's our first little edit where the camera fell down. So we're coming from here into that twisted lunge. I think it's actually rather nice like that. Shows a little bit more. Nice palm trees there. And we look up if that's appropriate, and then from here, hand down, knee down, and we come into Anjaneyasana, more commonly known as Hanuman, son of wind god Vayu, quite appropriate with this particular video, and a water nymph called Anjana, hence the name Anjani, son of Anjana. So the reason he changed his name, or had to change his name, was because he was reaching for the sun. Too long story. I'll tell it another time if I haven't already. Hands down, step to the front this time, and then hands underneath the feet. You could have the feet apart a little bit, just to give yourself enough balance here, especially if you have got the full hand all the way to the heel of the hand, or your wrist underneath your foot. Release one by one, and then hands to the shins into Ardha Uttanasana, that half way lift. Arms to the front, maybe higher than your head, as hard as that is, and shift your weight forwards as you come up. Breathe in, reach high. Breathe out, hands to the heart center. We inhale and raise the arms, and stay and get long. Exhale, halfway down. Weight into the toes, not too far back, and then hands down, drop your head. And we bring the hands underneath the feet again. This time, try and bring the feet together. And if that's too much, then obviously adapt. That's giving us a chance to deepen. Now hands next to the feet. We step the right foot to the back. We sink the hips down. And we raise the arms high, straightening the torso. If that seems like too much, then obviously keep the hands on the ground. Hands down and keep the hips low as you raise your left arm. And you may look up if that feels comfortable for the neck. And then as the hips get heavier and heavier, there was another little edit. I think that may be the last one. I don't know. Drop your right knee and then twist and maybe reach for your right foot with the left hand. You could come onto the outer edge of the left foot. Can't easily see that, but I'm basically on the lateral edge, pushing the knee out, and then step into a plank from here. Hold and breathe. Of course your core is engaged, but that breath should still go down into the belly. And then drop into Ashtanga Namaskar. Raise your toes if you want. And from here, quite a deep one. So careful if you want to be kind and gentle with your back into Purna Bhujangasana. So for the first one, don't bring the feet towards the head if you could, even if you're able to do that. Just take it a little bit easier. And then tuck your toes under, push the hips up. And then from here on an inhale, raise your right leg, again pointing the toes, getting long everywhere, in the upper body, in the legs. And slowly bring the foot forwards back into Warrior One. And if you want, you could, of course, deepen this a little bit more. Maybe the feet are further apart. So right foot further forwards at the front of the mat, left foot further back. But still, same thing applies. You want to be comfortable. You want to push the left hip to the front. And then we open up into Warrior Two. Reach forwards and reverse that warrior. Right arm to the back, left hand or top of the left hand. Go behind you, rest on your right waist. And then nice and slowly drop your right arm, reach the left arm to the front, so up and over. We do that thing again where we're opening the palm towards the ceiling, sky. Rotating through the shoulder, and then hand comes down and we change sides, coming into that twisted lunge. And because we've had it before, let's see if we can deepen and bind. And once we have a bind, no rush, no pressure, play around with where you're looking. Could look to the back, could look up. Might find it easier to just drop your gaze, and then we make extra sure that that top shoulder presses to the back. And release. Left knee comes down and we raise the left foot, toes towards the ceiling. We raise the arms. We might add Kali Mudra here, that interlocking of the hands where the thumbs and index fingers still reach away. And release, tuck your toes under so you can step to the front. And on your next inhale, come up into a halfway lift, just a little one, and then all the way up. So same inhalation. Then exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, arms go up. We reach high and breathe all the way into the front of the body. Exhale, halfway down. And all the way down from here. Breathe in, step your left foot to the back. And as before, we exhale and sink the hips downward, keep the knee off the ground, raising the arms if that's not too much. Yeah, and always make sure that you do the posture that is right for you in the moment, not so much the one that you'd naturally go to because you always do, because obviously our body's always different. So always tuning in. Hands down and right arm goes up. We might look up if that's comfortable for the neck. think I was checking on the camera then, realizing it's not fallen down. Hand down, drop your left knee, raise your left foot so that you can reach for it with your right hand. And then press your right knee out if you want. Sink the hips further down, especially the right one, not the left. That's naturally lower anyway. And come maybe onto the outer edge of the right foot to deepen. And release. Stepping from here into a plank, and we hold. Keeping our breath quite steady. Doesn't mean we have to guide it, but it does mean that if it isn't steady, we change something. And then from here, drop your knees, chest and chin. Feel free to stay here, or you could raise your toes as we did before, and this time also raise your arms, interlocking the hands to stretch into the chest and squeeze the shoulder blades. If that's not uncomfortable in any way. Could be the chin or the chest don't like it. Could be the throat doesn't. Hands down, knees apart, toes stay high, and we're going to press into the hands, coming a little bit deeper into that full King of Cobras. Hands can start quite far away and then they walk further and further in. And obviously we make sure we don't overdo anything. Now toes tuck under and we push ourselves to the back, knees apart, just lying there for a moment. And then push up into Parvadasana again. Long spine, long arms. And on your next inhale, left leg goes up and reaches high. Remembering that weight is the same in both hands and shoulders. Keep pressing to the back, keep lifting. Flex your foot, drop the heel. Stay and hold here too. And then slowly step that left foot to the front, right heel to the ground. We raise the arms and come into Virabhadrasana. Angry, righteous warrior. And keep breathing. Maybe play around with closing the eyes. Tends to be easy in that first of the warriors. But you can try it here, opening up into warrior 2. Maybe stepping the feet a bit further apart if you want. And let the breath come and go. Now from here, reach forwards and inhale as you send that left arm to the back, coming into reverse warrior. Keeping your weight obviously in that front leg. As always, you might sink a little bit deeper down just to make sure. Up to your hand, you should see the top of the hand, and then drop down from here. Arm could rest on your leg, or you could bring the hand to the ground, but don't let your torso collapse down. Keep your shoulders on top of each other, palm open, looking up or maybe to the fingertips, and then hand comes down and we change sides. Left arm goes up into a twisted lunge. We might try to bind our hands, and once we feel stable enough, we'll change where we're looking, starting from looking down, then maybe to the left side, then to the back or up, something like that. Release and drop your right knee to the ground, raise your toes, reach the arms up high. slowly from here, bring the hands down, release, and step to the front. Before we go anywhere else, coming back into Padhastasana, hand to foot or hand under foot pose. Or rather foot-hand pose, that's the literal translation. Feet together if you want to challenge your balance, apart if you feel that you're already sufficiently challenged. And then release, coming into Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up, arms to the front. And from here, bend your legs, reach the arms up high, look up to the ceiling, and hold that posture, commonly known as chair pose, but Utkatasana actually translates as fierce pose. Nice long breaths here. You might work with engaging your pelvic floor or your mool band in yoga. Might take a moment to sink deeper or to do a little bit less. Just making sure that you are where you can hold rather than clenching your jaw and counting the seconds. And you don't want to hold anymore, you can't. So somewhere where the breath is still flowing as well. It's one way of letting pran flow, but it's not just about the breath. It's often just called that, pran, the breath, but it isn't. It's everything that's energy in your body. It's everything that has to do with your metabolism. We can come lower now as well into Kargasana. Not for everyone. I would suggest keeping the heels on the ground and just letting yourself sink a little bit lower down. But yeah, it's the blood running through your veins. It's the food that you eat. All of that is prana as well. But obviously nothing works without the breath. That's why there's such a focus on that. And that's why pranayam is often only associated with the breath. Now come up all the way and circling the arms and push the elbows to the back. Now drop back down, arms go up. We circle as we go up and push the elbows to the back. Inhaling as we come down, raising the arms, exhaling as we come back up. Inhale, drop. It doesn't have to be as low as I'm going, because that's, quite hard, not easy for everyone. Try to keep your heels on the ground. So if you need to, then just come a little less far down with your hips. And then, raise the arms. We're done with those yogic squats. Fold forwards and inhale, step your right leg to the back. As you exhale, drop your knee, and we're going to grab hold again of that right foot with the left hand. Release and come into a twisted lunge. And from here, straighten both legs, keeping the hips high. Step your left foot to the back into a side plank where that left arm can come to the front and towards the ground as well. And then from here into a plank, drop into Chaturanga Dandasana. Knees can be on the ground. Inhale into upward dog and exhale into mountain pose. Breathe in, right leg goes up, and breathe out. Knee comes to the front, and then we step that foot between the hands. Inhale, arms go up, and exhale, open up to the right side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open up to the left side with that heel on the ground. So warrior two. Inhale, Asana. Exhale, twist. And then from here, maybe coming a little bit deeper, reaching the left arm to the back. Hands to the ground, step to the front, forward fold. And inhale, come to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Other side, breathe in, raise the arms. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, left foot to the back. Exhale, drop not just the hips but that knee as well, and then twist and hold onto your left foot with the right hand. Release from here and come into a twisted lunge. And then straighten both legs. Looking up still, unless you can't or don't want to. Slide into a side plank or step into a side plank. letting yourself really feel that stretch in the side, and then slowly into a plank. From here into Chaturanga Dandasana. And breathing in, coming into upward dog. Roll on the toes or tuck the toes under, making your way into your mountain. And then breathe in, left leg goes up. Breathe out, knee to the dropped head, and then step your left foot in between the hands. Inhale, rise into Asana, to your high lunge. Open up to the left side. And slowly coming back. Torso opens to the front. And then the torso opens to the right side. That left heel at the back comes to the ground. Breathe in, coming back into Asana and taking things a little bit deeper here. Hips stay low as we open up to the left side. We can always stay here. We don't have to drop the left arm and send the right arm to the back. And then release, step into a forward fold. Arms can wrap around the legs. And we breathe in and come to standing. Breathe out, hands to the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms go up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, right foot to the back. Exhale, left foot to the back. And hold your breath, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, arch, cobra. Exhale, push your hips up. And then inhale, right foot goes up into the front. Exhale, left foot to the front. Inhale, up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Left side, breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, left foot to the back. Exhale, right foot to the back. Hold your breath, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, arch, in any way you like. Exhale, push the hips up. Inhale, left leg up and to the front. Exhale, right foot to the front. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, right foot again. Exhale into a plank. Hold your breath, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, arch. Exhale, push the hips up. Breathe in, right foot to the front. Breathe out, left foot to the front. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, right foot. Hold your breath, drop down. Inhale and arch. Exhale, push your hips up. Breathe in, left foot to the front. Breathe out, right foot to the front. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, right foot. Exhale, left foot. Little change, Chaturanga Dandasana on a breath hold, and then upward dog as you inhale. So just one option. But then otherwise exactly the same. Right foot to the front, left foot to the front, coming up on an inhale, and hands to the heart center as you exhale. Same on the other side. Raising the arms, lowering, left foot to the back, right foot to the back. Holding your breath in Chaturanga. Arching on an inhale. Push up, and then on your next inhale, left foot to the front, right foot to the front. Breathe in, come to standing. And breathe out, hands to the heart center. One more time, breathe in, raise the arms, breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, right foot, exhale, left foot. Hold your breath, come down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, push the hips up. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, we flex the foot and drop the heel. Now step that right foot to the front, left heel to the ground. We straighten both legs as much as we can, of course, and then open up into Parivritta Konasana. So you're opening up to the right side with that left hand potentially on the outside of the right foot. Could also be the left arm on the outside of the right leg. Could be, but doesn't have to be the case. One of the harder binds. So never forcing anything. I'd much rather we'd be comfortable. Release and slowly raise that left leg. Drop your torso, hands on the ground or on your right leg. And then come into a forward fold, just dropping the leg, and inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, fold forwards. Inhale, left foot. Exhale, right foot. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, arch. Exhale, push up. Inhale, left leg up. And on an exhale, flex your foot, drop the heel. Step your left foot to the front, right heel to the ground, left leg straightens as much as is possible for you, and then right hand potentially, but doesn't have to the outside of that left leg. Raise your left arm. And see if you want to drop that left arm behind you and bring the right arm around the left leg, obviously from the outside. So it's an actual bind, it's part of that bind of the hands. And here too, probably the most difficult thing for us would be to look upwards here. Just give us a little bit less orientation. Release from here, drop your head and raise your right leg. Coming into Ekpat Prasarit Paduttanasana. Standing splits. And maybe our hamstrings feel good after all these Padhastasana variations. And release into a forward fold. Breathe in, up to standing. And on an exhale, hands come back to the heart center. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold forwards. Breathe in, back into Kagasana. Could look different for you. Now hands together and thumbs touch the middle of the forehead. Close your eyes if you can. So obviously what we're doing with the arms is significantly helping or hindering our balance here. So this is slightly harder than reaching the arms up into the front. That's why we're leaving it now. Coming to balance on the tailbone in Naukasana or Navyasana, in a boat pose. Breathing comfortably, not holding the breath. And then slowly release from here, hug your knees in, rock side to side, head to the right and then head to the left. And we grab hold underneath the legs to drop the knees that stay together to the left side as the head turns to the right. Change sides. And slowly come back. Knees comfortably in towards the chest. And then from here, hands just drop to the side of the torso. Legs straighten towards the sky. Ardha Halasana, half plow. Hold and see how you can still feel the breath in your stomach. There shouldn't be too much effort here. And obviously if you need to, you bend the legs. Knees can then stay above the hips instead. And we take the legs a little bit further forwards, not much. Be around 80 degrees. And then just to make sure that you're not using the hands here for support, bring the arms next to the head and keep your neck relaxed. If there's anything going on there, maybe just do a little less. One way to do less is to bring the hands underneath the buttocks, but this here is now the test, coming to 45 degrees. And you want to make sure you're still comfortable. If you're not, then bend your legs. Much better than overdoing it. Keep your lower back comfortable on the ground. I don't know if that is comfortable, but you want to feel that connection. And keep breathing gently. And then from here, slowly send the legs to the back. Give yourself a little push here, use the hands. Tuck your toes under if you can. And push the heels towards the back. Interlock the hands behind your back. And maybe push the palms away from you so that your thumbs are on the ground. Check on your breath here too, with the chin so close to the chest. Has anything changed? And keep that breath steady as you raise the legs, coming into the all limbs pose, Sarvanga. So shoulder stand, again not a literal translation. Looks a bit like a candle, which is why in German they call it the candle pose. You might release the hands. You might bring the arms back next to the head. And then really slowly, this is where I lost my balance because I didn't do it slowly, should take my own advice, raise the arms, so straightening the arms, reaching the fingertips all the way up. That's your unsupported shoulder stand. Or candle. Knees down on either side of the head, coming into Karna Pirasana, the ear pressing pose. And again, we have the option of doing something else with the arms. Check what may be comfortable here. This is obviously very, very deep, and while the idea is to have the whole of the lower leg from the top of the foot, from the toes to the knee, on the ground, that is very deep, and it doesn't have to be that deep. You can just bend the legs and see where they're getting to. And slowly up and over, feet come to the ground, heels drop down as well, hips stay high. We may reach for our ankles in Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Setu Bandha is the bridge. That's the literal translation. So option is to stay here, but we could also release and come into a full bridge, Setu Bandhasana, where the legs could stay bent, but you could also straighten them, walking the feet a bit further forwards. I'll show that in a moment. But as always, what's more important than the posture and the way it looks is that you're aware of your breath, you keep your breath steady, so that the whole of the body is comfortable. That's one way. Obviously it's not the only thing that matters, but the breath is a very good indicator. So let's keep that awareness of the breath. Slowly release, unless you want to stay. So the next one is also that same idea, chest high, head down, Matsyasana, And the legs could just be stretched out. It's not comfortable for everyone to come into that lotus pose, Padmasana. But if you want to, crown of the head to the ground, hips high, forearms, if you don't need them on the ground, can rise and we can reach for the feet or just rest our hands underneath the buttocks or on top of the hips. Now let's slowly release from here. If you were still in your Setu Bandhasana, also come down into the back. Legs could be stretched out, if that works better for you. Letting the breath be what it is rather than guiding it. And then from here, right knee on top of the left, maybe a double bind as you drop your knees to the left side and turn the head to the right. In the monkey pose, or one of many variations of the monkey or margat. And then slowly come up and change sides. Hips can adjust a little bit, move over to the left if you want. And left knee on top of the right, double bind if we want, as we drop the knees to the right and turn the head to the left. And then we come up and unbind from here, hugging the knees in. Maybe, if that's not enough, raising the head, if your back needs a little bit more. And then release from here, soles of the feet together, hands come onto the chest and stomach. Or if you prefer, one hand could travel to the rib cage as well. So you want to feel your breath and your heartbeat as well, so that hand at the chest may stay. And just for a little while longer, just a few more breaths here. And then release, raise the knees and make your way up in any way you like. Coming into a comfortable seated position. Rounding the back, reaching the left arm up and then reaching the right arm up while the torso is still rounded, dropped forwards. And we slowly roll up through the spine. Eyes can be closed as you bring your right hand to your, or your right thumb to your right nostril and close off the right nostril completely. Allowing the breath to come and go through the left. And just as we did when we were lying down, we don't want to guide the breath. Or when we were just lying down, not like we did at the beginning. You might feel how gentle it is, that's almost not there at all. And then we start guiding the breath, but with that same gentleness that we've observed. So not suddenly thinking strong breaths, but just slowing them down a little bit more and trying to, what we did at the beginning, breathe out for twice as long as we've breathed in. So nice and slow and sparking parasympathetic activity that way, by focusing more on the exhalations than the inhalations. And we keep that up, completely relying on that natural rhythm of the breath. Still very gentle, in gently, out gently, just happens to be longer exhalations. And a few more breaths like that. You might lengthen, but keep making sure that it's comfortable for you. And slowly release, moving into neck and shoulders, to the torso, to any part of the body that needs it. We're almost at the end. Rub your hands together, creating some warmth, some heat. And bring the palms over your face. Slowly the eyes can open if they were closed. And bring the hands to the heart center. See you soon.